every Jew that knows a little bit of Torah knows that Christianity is idol worship. But yet, few speak against it. What are you going to say? You're saying a lot of Lashon Hara there, Yaron. Okay, let's see what the master, Chafetz Chaim, what did he say? He's a person that was scared of saying a single bad thing about anybody. But yet, one of his Talmidim, when he was still a young Bachur, Rav Asher Ravnitsky, traveled to go see the Chafetz Chaim in the Bet Midrash, and he witnessed the story. Sees the Chafetz Chaim, a Jew that's 100 years old, about to start a shiur, and before this Chafetz Chaim starts the shiur, he says, Berkel Michelsen, Imach Shimo Vezichro. This Rabbi Asher almost had heart failure listening to the biggest expert in the world of warning us what not to say is cursing another Jew out loud before he started a shiur. He went to one of the other guys that's there. He says, did I just hear it right that the Rav just cursed another Jew? Michelson is a Jewish name. He says, let me explain to you. This Berkel is really Adam Cohen, Adam Dov Cohen, who was a maskil, a reformer, one of the Enlightenment movement, who also worked for the Russian government, and he was overseeing some of the rabbinical sites. And when he went to one of those Bet Midrashim, he saw a young kid who was constantly coming every day. Very serious kid. Nobody really paid much attention to him because he didn't have a father. And his mom was on a second marriage. So this kid pretty much was all alone all the time. So this Berkel saw a lot of potential in this kid. And he befriended him. And he saw that this kid could become also part of the Enlightenment movement. Part of the people that distort the Torah as a passion. Part of the people that brought a lot of disasters, both spiritually and physically, to Am Yisrael over the last few hundred years. One day, one of the people comes to the young boy and says, you can't be next to him. Don't you know who that is? No. This Adam Cohen is a missionary for the Enlightenment movement. He's an apikolos. He is a famous heretic. He's a person that makes it his business to get kids to leave the yeshiva and adopt their heresy. Since he didn't have much strength, he didn't have much money, he didn't have much anything. The only thing that the young boy had was the courage to run away. He ran away from there, went to Vilna, continued learning Torah until the world knew him as the Chafetz Chaim. But every single day since then, he said, Adam Cohen, this Berkel Michelson, Imach Shimo V'zichro. Why Imach Shimo V'zichro? Why may Hashem uproot his name? Because he tried to uproot me from eternity. So the very same Chafetz Chaim that cursed this person before every shiur every day, he writes halachot. He tells us not only what to say, but also what not to say. Not only what not to say, but also what to say. Now the Gemara in Masechet Yoma, page 86b, Rashi over there says that to publish the sins of corrupt people in order to avoid Chilul Hashem, because once these corrupt people that look righteous are finally destroyed by Hashem, people are going to say, wait a minute, he was such a good rabbi, how come Hashem is punishing him? This could lead to desecration of Hashem's name. Or more so, that to expose these corrupt people that look righteous, because you don't want people to follow them. You don't want people to learn from them. Rashi says, It's a mitzvah. Mitzvah to expose these people that look righteous, but in reality they're reshaim, corrupt. The Meiri on Masechet Shabbat, page 48, comments on it as well. Similar topic. Says, although the issue of Lashon Hara is despicable, one who publicizes the wicked people's actions, the corrupt people, in order to protect the righteous people from following them, is doing a big mitzvah and will get a special blessing from heaven for it. The Meiri, one of the Rishonim, 800 years ago, exposing the wicked people that look righteous, or even if they don't look righteous, they're simply wicked people, mitzvah. But what about Lashon Hara? Everybody says you can't say a single thing that's bad about anybody. Only people that think that are people that didn't learn the halachot of Lashon Hara. The Lashon Hara laws are not the most difficult, but they're also impossible to know due to common sense. You have to learn them. Rabbi Simcha Zisser Mikelem in Sefer Chochmah u'Musar, in the Ma'amar 181, says in the name of Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, the Talmid of the Vilna Gaon, says that the verse that says don't stand over the blood of your fellow is referring to a person that has permissible Lashon Hara, meaning Lashon Hara that he's supposed to expose, and doesn't expose it, is violating that mitzvah. He's in essence standing over the blood of his fellow. Why? Because there's certain Lashon Hara that you're obligated to expose. You're obligated to say it because you're warning people. The Chafetz Chaim, in the introduction to his Sefer Shmirat HaLashon, says that the benefits of this Sefer are not only what not to say, but also to ensure that a person does not become a one that is putting on himself a forbidden or a invalid stringency on saying Lashon Hara to the point where he's not going to say the Lashon Hara that he's obligated to say. Because that Lashon Hara is supposed to be said to disparage someone as an actual mitzvah. Meaning it's a mitzvah to disparage this person. Why? Because that disparagement of that person is going to warn people from him. Now the Chafetz Chaim wrote about it, halachot after halachot, and we're going to read a few. There's a couple of publications of the Chafetz Chaim. There's English, there's Hebrew, of course. There's I believe there's a new one also that came out by Art Scroll. In the Mekor HaChaim, in Ilchot Isurei Lashon Hara, in Klal Dalet, Halacha Yud, says, nevertheless, meaning despite the fact that we teach that you're supposed to stay away from Lashon Hara, a person can lose their Olam Haba for saying it, it's dangerous, it's bad, and so on. Nevertheless, if a person sees someone expressing a bad character trait, such as hardiness, anger, or some other bad personality trait, or this person doesn't learn Torah, and some other comparable character trait, it's the correct thing for this observer to tell his own son or his students and warn them not to associate with this person, so that they will not learn to emulate this person's lifestyle, since the essential reason why Lashon Hara is forbidden by the Torah is, even if the remarks are true, is only because the speaker's intent is to humiliate his fellow Jew and to rejoice in his disgrace, which is forbidden. But if the speaker's intention, the one that says Lashon Hara, who saw this person is desecrating Shabbat, saw this person is really, he goes against the Torah, doesn't learn Torah, brings missionaries to a shul, all types of things like this, does bad things. If this person that publicizes this other person's sins, if his intention is to protect his friend so that he will not learn to copy this person's lifestyle, then this is obviously a permissible and even a mitzvah to disclose this person's actions. Again, it's obviously permissible and even a mitzvah, says the Chafetz Chaim, to disclose this person's actions. In fact, if you go into the Hilchot Lashon Hara in the Klal Dalet, but now you're going to go into the Be'er Mayim Chaim of Halacha number 10. It says, regarding the condition, I'll just read in English, regarding the condition that the crime, the transgression that this person is doing, he's violating Shabbat, he's bringing missionaries to shul, he's some type of heretic, and so on. Regarding the condition that this crime, this transgression, should not be exaggerated out of proportion, because one of the things that he said in the other halacha is that you have to tell people to warn them. You have to warn them. But don't exaggerate. Tell the truth, what it says. So now this Be'er Chaim is in Seif Katan Mem Gimel is actually giving a comment, like a elaboration. And what does it mean about don't exaggerate? It says, regarding the condition of not exaggerating out of proportion, if by merely stating, you need to know that if by merely stating the facts as they were, the listener will not distance himself from this person, and it's possible that some bad thing will happen from the association with this other person, then it's permissible to exaggerate the crime. Again, if you have a person that you tell him, listen, this guy is not a good guy, don't listen to him. Okay, he's going to not listen to you. And you know that if he listens to this other guy, he's going to end up going to, listen to Christianity or something. Or he's going to go do something terrible. So you saying don't listen to this other guy is not enough. You have to exaggerate. Or you can exaggerate, I should say. You can exaggerate. Why? Because you're trying to save him. And that's what the Chafetz Chaim says later. It says it's permissible to exaggerate the crime, but there's one underlying rule that prevails here, and that is that the disclosure can only be made l'shem shamayim, for the sake of honoring God's holy name. Meaning, the speaker that's saying this Lashon Hara foresees some tangible benefit will emerge from his disclosure, and that he has no hateful motivation in making it. Meaning he's not saying it because he doesn't like the other guy, or he's going to benefit out of it materially. He's simply saying it for the sake of heaven. He's saying it for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his children. That's it. If that's the case, not only is he allowed to say Lashon Hara and publicize the sins and the misbehavior of these bad people, but on top of that, he's actually even allowed to exaggerate if the need is. The sad part is that in the recent war that we had, or really any of the wars that we had, we never had to exaggerate. because the truth itself was already ridiculous as it is. There was no reason to exaggerate it. But yet, the world stayed quiet. Further, in Klal Fo, Klal Fo C5 says, person sees that a sin was committed by a person who is among those foolish people who are heretics, scoffers, cynics, those people that hate rebuke. Like Shlomo HaMelech teaches in Mishle, don't try to rebuke the scoffer because he might come to hate you. And most assuredly, he would not accept a rebuke. And these people, in their foolishness, repeat their sins, just like Goldberg repeated his sin from trying to bring the missionary Matthew Kelly, now brought this one. But unfortunately, he brought some in between too that we didn't know about until after the fact. Either way, these foolish people that repeat their sins, and they would again sin. Therefore, it would be appropriate to disclose his actions to the authorities of the city even, who would then chastise him because of his sin and prevent him from committing the sin in the future. It's also my opinion, says the Chafetz Chaim, that this same law applies to the relatives of the sinner. Meaning that a person is even allowed to be a moser in order to stop sinners. Perhaps Goldberg thinks that I'm the sinner and that's why he sent the police to my house. I'm just not really sure what the sin was yet. Further, in Klal Chet, Klal 8, Halacha number 5, all of the issues in regards to Lashon Hara, says the Chafetz Chaim, the entire Isur, the entire prohibition against Lashon Hara, applies specifically to a victim who the Torah considers to be your brother, your fellow Jew, someone who observes Torah and mitzvot. Because those people who are known as heretics, it's a mitzvah to denigrate and humiliate them, directly and indirectly, to them in their presence and even not in their presence, for whatever sins that they were seen committing, or even sins that were simply heard that they committed. Where the Torah instructs us in Leviticus chapter 25 verse 17, do not oppress your fellow Jew. Do not peddle gossip in society. And these people are not included in this warning because they have repudiated Hashem and don't behave as Jews should. And this concept is expressed by David HaMelech in Psalm chapter 139 verse 21, where David HaMelech says, those who hate you, Hashem, I will hate. And those who rise up against you, I will fight. Definition of a heretic, says the Chafetz Chaim, apostate, is someone who repudiates the Torah, denies that prophecy was given to Israel's prophets, whether he denies the written Torah or the Torah that was handed down through the generations by oral tradition, the Shas, the Talmud. This person is a apostate, even if he says that the entire Torah is God-given except for one sentence or except for a single logical deduction made by our sages, or a single chidush learned from the juxtaposition of two sentences in the Torah, or one single grammatical issue. In denying even these seemingly inconsequential details, this person has repudiated the Torah, denied the authority of the sages, and rejected Hashem. He is a heretic. He is an apostate. And it's a mitzvah to degrade and humiliate these people. Now the Avot de Rabbi Natan says this concept of hating, what's happening here? What's the mean? The statement comes to teach that man should not intend to say, love the chachamim and hate the unlearned people, but instead, man should intend to say, love everyone and hate the heretics and the missionaries, and those who entice people to convert, as David HaMelech taught. Those who hate you, I will hate. It's not about hating the rabbis or religious or not religious. No. Hate the missionaries. Hate the people that help the missionaries. Hate the heretics. Those people, hate them. Further, Chafetz Chaim says in Klal Chet in 8, Halacha number 12. And even more, if a person goes and informs another Jew to a Gentile authorities, unquestionably, his sin is unbearably great. By informing, he becomes branded as a moser, as an informer, whose punishment is equal to people who deny God or repudiate the Torah, or do not believe God will bring back the dead to life, and their punishment will continue long after Gehenom ceases to exist. As the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 17a teaches. And therefore every Jew must guard themselves very carefully not to commit this terrible act. But yet, a person that is a apikoros, you're allowed to do it against them. Person that is a missionary, you're allowed to be a moser against them. That's the significance here. Further, in the Sefer Shmirat HaLashon, in Sha'ar Tvuna, in Perek Gimel, says Chafetz Chaim, those who abandon the Torah, the heretics, it's a mitzvah to denigrate them, just like I wrote in Chafetz Chaim, chapter 5, Halacha number 8. Also in Sefer HaMitzvot, Chafetz Chaim repeats again, in the mitzvah velo ta'aseh, mitzvah 78, Ayin Chet, says the mitzvah of not hating your brother in your heart refers to a kosher person. But when a person is a sinner against another person, the mitzvah is to go and ask this person, why'd you do this to me? In order to remove the hatred from your heart. But if after you ask them, why'd you do this to me? And they don't retract, they don't rectify the situation, they stay sinners, they continue bringing more missionaries into the shul, it's a mitzvah to hate them, says the Chafetz Chaim. Mitzvah Ayin Tet, the next mitzvah, 79. Chafetz Chaim says, in regards to the mitzvah of not shaming another Jew in public, as we see in the Gemara Masechet Bava Metzia, page 59, where shaming a Jew in public, person could lose their olam haba. This is referring to issues between two people. But when it comes to heavenly issues, if the person that's sinning does not rectify his actions, doesn't stop violating Shabbat, he doesn't stop bringing missionaries to shul, he doesn't stop talking things that are heretical and so on, then you must publicize and shame him in public until he does tshuva. And this applies to all men and women, in all places, at all times. Chafetz Chaim. Mitzvah Memhei 45. In regards to the mitzvah of not to curse one of the Jews of Israel, this is referring to only a kosher Jew who keeps mitzvot. If a person is not a kosher Jew, you're allowed to curse him. Chafetz Chaim in Biur Halacha, which is comments on the Shulchan Aruch. In the beginning, in Siman Aleph, where it says that anytime a person is mocked for being righteous, mocked for serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shulchan Aruch says, don't pay attention to these people. The Chafetz Chaim says, if a person works in a place full of apikosim, full of heretics, that are forsaking the Torah, and they want to implement different takanot, different rules, different things that will cause the Jewish people to forsake the Torah of Hashem, then it's a mitzvah to hate them and to battle them and do all that is possible to dismantle their plans. Just like David HaMelech says, same Tehillim, Psalm 139:21, Alo misanecha Adonai isna, umitkomecha itkotat. Tachlit sin'a sanetim leoivim ayu li. David HaMelech says, those that hate you, I hate them, and I fight them. The essence of hatred, I have towards your enemies. Meaning, the highest level of hatred that could possibly be. If you ask an average person, you have somebody you hate? Sure. What do you hate? Oh, I hate this guy who owes me money. Okay. You have somebody you hate more than him? Oh yeah, I hate my ex-wife. Okay. You have somebody you hate more than him? No, I don't know. Maybe this, maybe that. Oh, what about Hitler? Hitler killed 6 million Jews. Oh yeah, I definitely hate him. So most people don't really think about this so deeply that they, hopefully they don't, and get to the essence of hatred. David HaMelech did. David HaMelech says those people that bring Jews to missionaries, bring Jews in danger, put Jews in danger, those people are your enemies, Hashem. And therefore, the essence of hatred, the deepest level of hatred, I should say, is what I have for them. The deepest level of hatred. Rabbi Yonah says, it's allowed to say Lashon Hara on those people because they cause machloket. It's not the people that fight against them that cause machloket, but rather the people that make these sins. They're the ones that are causing machloket. And Rabbi Yonah Migirondi 800 years ago says, not speaking against them, because you don't want to make machloket, is actually making machloket and is also a sin from the Torah. To not speak against them is a sin. Last but not least, Rabbi Yoel Misatmer exposed something that the other type of missionaries in the world, the Zionists, what they did or tried to do with our Torah. They published a publication of the Chafetz Chaim's Mishnah Brura. The publication was called Pardes, but they published the Mishnah Brura. Rabbi Yoel Misatmer was on one of his trips and asked the person to get him one of the books that's there. And he brought him the Chafetz Chaim. And he brought him the Mishnah Brura. He learns that, he says, I think something is missing. Rabbi Yoel Misatmer was Kodesh Kodeshim, genius, knew the entire Torah by heart. So you know something is missing here from this Mishnah Brura. Give me a different copy. He brings him a different copy that's not publication of Pardes. Rabbi Yoel Misatmer uncovers something. What's that something? Certain sections of the Chafetz Chaim's Mishnah Brura were deleted. What section specifically? in regards to the what he has on the Orach Chaim, Seif 156, in regards to the name Masau Matan, the laws of Masau Matan, there is a talking about all types of mitzvot that perhaps people don't pay enough attention to and so on, day to day. And Chafetz Chaim says, in regards to the loving your fellow, the mitzvah of loving your fellow, you have to do this, you have to do that. And in the end, he writes, but this fellow that we're talking about, you're supposed to love, is only someone that's a fellow in mitzvot, and not a rasha that's forsaking the Torah regularly. Because that type of person, it's a mitzvah to hate him. That's the section that the Zionists that were forsaking the Torah on a regular basis deleted, along with a few other sections that were very similar, that were talking specifically against heretics and apikosim. Meaning that koshering the pig is not a new invention. Our job is to learn the truth and spread the truth. Whoever wants to accept it, ashrechem. Whoever wants to resent them, reject them, go against them, your blood is in your own hands. With that, B'ezrat Hashem, this will give enough of us, enough chizuk, that's not only fire, brimstone, but also halachic definitions of what really is Lashon Hara, what we are forbidden from saying, what we are obligated to say. In so many words, what I can tell you is this. When it comes to Lashon Hara, is the following. If you are going to say something that's true, because if it's not true, then it's Motzi Shemra. Saying something true against somebody else for your own benefit, not allowed to say it. But if it's for the benefit of heaven, you don't benefit out of it. You're not looking to make money out of it. You're not looking to gain popularity out of it. Nothing. In fact, may even be the opposite. Then you have something to stand on. Then you are saying Lashon Hara according to the Chafetz Chaim. Meaning you are saying Lashon Hara with permission from the Chafetz Chaim. Don't call everything Lashon Hara that's forbidden. Because there is a Lashon Hara that the Chafetz Chaim himself mentions in no less than 20 places. In his book, the Chafetz Chaim, and many other places in the other books. I mentioned to you probably, 15, 20 places today, or less. But enough, I think that anyone that reads on takes those sections that I quoted. You want to go deep further, go dig deeper, you'll see many more. There's the next halacha. Each one of them expands into others, before it and after it. I'm just giving you enough to scratch the surface. I mean, you're going to see that in dozens and dozens of places, the Chafetz Chaim not only tells us that there is Lashon Hara that needs to be said, that's a mitzvah to be said, but rather it's a obligation to say and a sin not to say. When you are exposing people that are putting Am Yisrael in danger, it's not only a mitzvah to go expose this, but even better yet, it's an obligation for you to do so. And that's one of the things that anyone out there that's weakened because of some white beards and some people that look like they know what they're talking about, I invite each and every single one of them to take these halachot and show how they don't apply to the case. Show that we're wrong. And anyone that could show we're wrong, I'm more than happy to make a whole lecture admitting that I'm wrong. I can assure you, not a single person is going to try. Why? You don't have to fight with me. You have to fight with the Chafetz Chaim. Good luck with that one.